You have to treat YouTube like a teacher, and you have to ask one question at a time. Hi and welcome. If you are new, my name is Melissa and I love to sew. If you love to sew or are interested in how I learned to sew here on YouTube, then continue watching, and I hope you click on some of my other videos and enjoy them, like them, and subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, what's up? How are you? Let me know in the comments what you're working on. I always like learning different patterns and seeing where everyone's head is at. A lot of people are sewing fall items already. It is still hot here in Arizona. I really want to sew a cardigan, but maybe that'll be in my November makes plans. I don't know yet. We'll see though. But anyways, what am I wearing? I am wearing, if you don't remember, I'm wearing my Joni jumpsuit. Yes I am. Fabric is really comfortable. I did mess up here. I don't know if you guys can tell as you follow along the video. See that? You'll notice that the center front isn't in the center, but I still love this. I haven't had a chance to wear it and I decided to throw it on because sometimes when I sew something and I don't feel comfortable in it, I walk around the house in it and then I realize that it's actually really comfortable. But I decided to take it out because it will start getting chilly a little bit, and I would love to pair this with a cute cardigan and some cute heels or flats. So we shall see how I wear this in the future. Stay tuned. If you don't follow me on Instagram, that's probably where you will see me wearing my makes the most. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's up here or down in the description box below. Now, so the reason why you're here, you're probably wondering how I learned to sew off of YouTube. If you have seen my Sew It Academy review, I just want to say that I will talk about the Sew It Academy at the end of this video. Let's go ahead and get into it. So if you are similar to me, and I'm hoping you are, because that's probably why you watch me, is because we have certain similarities and common things that we both enjoy. I started watching upcycling videos on YouTube. They just started being recommended. I'm sure they get recommended because they just get a lot of views. After I watched a lot of upcycling videos, I really wanted a sewing machine. The first thing you want to do once you buy your machine, okay, after you buy your machine, you want to go ahead and figure out how it's threaded. You want to learn your machine. The two stitches that you want to learn for are straight stitching and how to backstitch. If you don't know how to backstitch, nothing's gonna get locked and your seams are gonna fall apart and you'll never, and everything you sew is not going to be properly. So you want to make sure you backstitch. You bought your machine and you learned your straight stitch and you learned your backstitch. So now all of a sudden you think that you can go and start cutting up all this clothes and making new garments. You probably could, but just know that you're probably going to fail because there's so many more things involved. You want to be specific with your searches on YouTube. I don't recommend searching on YouTube how to sew a t-shirt or how to sew pants or how to self-draft or how to, no, you have to be really specific with your searches. How to do a basting stitch, how to sew a buttonhole, how to install a zipper, how to install an invisible zipper, how to replace the light bulb on your sewing machine, okay? How to thread your sewing machine, how to attach sleeves, how to attach a waistband, there's a lot of specifics that you need to do in order for you to learn how to sew. So just make sure that when you are searching things on YouTube, you're getting very specific with what you're trying to sew. If you are trying to sew a full completed t-shirt, just know that you need to know how to sew with stretchy fabric You need to know the kind of presser foot you want. My machine prefers a plastic presser foot when I sew with stretchy garments like this one. If I have a metal presser foot on it, my stitches don't come out and my zigzag stitch isn't right. How to sew with stretchy fabric. Bam! So there's a lot of different things that you can do in order to size down the type of videos that you want to see. And as you continue to sew, your interest for sewing will increase and you'll be able to watch really, really long videos and be able to keep up with all of them. And at first, when I first started learning to sew on YouTube, it was really hard to keep up with the long videos because I kept falling asleep because I didn't understand it and I couldn't keep up. But as I minimized my searches on how to do every single step by itself, I was able to keep up and I was able to understand it that way, and I was able to focus on the video on doing just one simple thing. Once that was done and I was able to sew and start making garments, and I realized that I could now listen at the longer videos. So with fabric, you should not be purchasing any fabric at your Joann's or at your Hobby Lobby or at your fabric store. That's not what you want to do right away. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you go to you rip up your clothing and you realize that you got the hang of it. You have a pile of scraps somehow from all this clothes that you didn't wear, and now you're ready to work with pieces of fabric. So you want to head down to your local thrift store, okay? Your thrift store. That is where you want to go. You don't want to go all the way to Joann's and spend $25 on some pretty beautiful fabric and then realize that you made all these mistakes and that because you sewed it and you see it, you don't want to wear it, okay? That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to go walk your butt to the thrift store, okay? And check them out and feel the fabrics that they have on the material section. But if you go to like a Savers or a Goodwill, they have, if you go and look at their blankets, they'll have a section where it says material or miscellaneous, and that is where you want to feel for fabrics. And you can see that there's people that actually donated some pretty good fabrics for you to work with, and that's what you want to grab and that's what you want to feel. Once I started realizing that I can sew garments, I just had a lot of issues with fitting clothes to my body. And that's when I realized that I kind of needed a little bit more help with fitting. I tried looking at the videos on YouTube with fitting, but I was really confused because I didn't really understand what my figure was. I do have a video on how I analyzed my figure and the book that I used to analyze my figure. It's from the public library, which is nice because I didn't have to pay for the book, but I will put the video up here so that you can go ahead and see it. It's either up here or up here, whatever. But I'll put the video up there so that you guys can see it after this video. But it's how I analyzed my figure. It's how I realized that I had sloped shoulders. It's also how I realized that I have a natural high waist, or that I have a really broad back and kind of forward shoulders. I wasn't getting a professional finish on them, and it was really starting to bother me because I had done a lot of self-taught sewing. I kept trying so hard and it just wasn't coming out right. So I decided to enroll into the Sew It Academy, and I am no longer a student, but there's nothing wrong with the Sew It Academy. It's just that yo soy más pobre que la fregada. Like, I'm not lying. Like, we are just tight on income. Okay, there's only one person working in this household making an income, and it is not me. So subscribe and like my video so I can start throwing some commercials in here because your girl needs some money for fabric, okay? But anyways, but that's the only reason why I couldn't stay enrolled in it. But I did learn a lot. The 2.5 months that I was in the Sew It Academy, I learned so much, and I realized that self-drafting and sewing with your patterns go hand in hand a lot, and how knowing one skill improves the other. So knowing how to read a commercial pattern and learning how to self draft for your body, those two skills are just really important to have in sewing, and they just take sewing for yourself to the next level, and it is just amazing. And I like to dabble in both, but I mostly stick to commercial patterns right now because that's what I want to learn to adjust, and then eventually I'll go back to self drafting. But right now, commercial patterns it is. Yeah, so if you don't want to take the time to really focus on all the videos and pulling out the good videos on YouTube or the bad ones or whatever, just know that you can always enroll to the Sew It Academy or some other classes online. I've never tried other online sewing classes. I've only tried the Sew It Academy, and it's great. Like, Mimi G really just holds your hand along your sewing journey, and you get involved in this Facebook group, and you get, now they're building up their following on Instagram, and they just added another teacher, Brittany J. Jones. Like, there's even courses for you to teach your child to sew. There's so much that Sew It Academy has to offer, and it's a monthly subscription. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I'm just, for real, like, I was on it. You know what I mean? I will probably go again. I will probably enroll again to Sew It Academy probably next year in the summertime, just depending on where we are at that time. But it's a great investment, especially because even though on YouTube you can pull out all these good videos and all these information, you have to remember that you have to be very specific with your searches, as opposed to going straight into the Sew It Academy and learning how to sew. So just know that that is something to think about if you are interested, and I'll link Sew It Academy's website down in the description box, just if you want to take a look at it, because it's really great. And that is it. Those are my tips. That is how I learned how to sew. I had so many fails when I learned to sew, and I still have so many fails, and I'm still learning how to sew. I'm still learning every single day. I'm still teaching my daughter to sew, and it's a really long process at times, and it can be difficult, it can be frustrating, but it is so much fun. The minute you complete an outfit, the minute you can walk around and you're walking around at the store feeling yourself, walking with, with a groove and stuff, con ganas and stuff, and it just feels good when somebody goes up to you and says, "Oh my gosh, that's such a cute outfit. Oh my gosh, thank you, I sewed it." You know what I mean? So that is a very rewarding sentence that I love to say every time I say it. And yeah, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed my little chit chat. I hope you enjoy sewing as much as I do. If you are learning to sew, there's a ton of videos out here on YouTube, and I will put down some of my favorite ones for specific topics. And I hope you enjoy your sewing journey, and I hope you wear what you make. Don't forget to have a wonderful day, week, and month, and make it a good year. Bye.